Hello and welcome back. This is Candace with another video on the Pawsome Stamps YouTube channel, and today I have a fun mixed media card inspired by this month's challenge. So let's get started. So we are going to start off with our stamping. So I have my Misty out as well as the Vitamin C stamp set, and I'm going to come in with a piece of Canson watercolor paper. So this is a bit of a thicker paper, and I'm coming in with that wave stamp from the stamp set, and I set it up in the middle of my Misty, and I'm using my Versamark ink and some white heat embossing, and I'm going to make my waves out of that. Then I came in with another piece of just scrap paper that I had cut my waves out on, and I'm just using that to cover up my previous heat embossing so that I don't get embossing powder all over the places that I've already heat embossed. I know you can't see it super great because it is white embossing powder on a white paper, but you'll see it later when we put the ink on top of it. So I'm just coming in, making sure to use my anti-static powder pouch, coming in with my Versamark ink and stamping that a couple times because this paper does have some tooth to it. And then I'm coming in with my embossing powder, and before I heat set it, I also use a paintbrush to just get off any of that excess embossing powder. While I have my stamping out, I'm also going to stamp the sentiment on some black cardstock, and I also stamped just in some black ink the images that I'm going to add to this stamp set as well. So now I'm going to come in and do my ink blending on the wave parts, and I'm just smooshing down some colors. I'm using Speckled Egg, Broken China, Uncharted Mariner, and Chipped Sapphire. I had Prize Ribbon, but I didn't end up using it. And once I'm happy, I am going to come in and just spray that with my Distress Spray, and it's just pure water. And then I'm going to come in and use my paintbrush to kind of move that color around. And I'm trying not to over move it. And I did suck up some of the extra water with some paper towel, and that's how it looked in the end, which I was quite happy with. And then I'm going to come in and blend my background right on the card base. So I'm using some Distress Oxide inks again in Antique Linen, Tea Dyed, Gathered Twigs, and I didn't use Walnut Stain at this point, but when you see me do the splatters in a second, I am going to use a mixture of Gathered Twigs, Walnut Stain, and Ground Espresso. So I just smoosh those onto an acrylic block that I have and use a paintbrush, and I add some water and then I flick them onto my card base. You'll also see that I have a piece of scrap paper on the inside of my card base, just in case the card opens up a little bit. I'm not going to get any paint splatters on the inside. And now moving on to our coloring. So you could use any coloring medium, of course, but I am using my Copics today, and you can see which colors I'm using on the left-hand side there. I tried to use some kind of bright, happy colors that would complement the color palette, which my card is inspired by. So like always, we have another monthly challenge going on at Pawsome Stamps. As always, I will link in the description down to the blog post below with all the information. But all you have to do is make a card or project inspired by this month's color palette using at least one Pawsome Stamps product, and share it on social media using the challenge hashtag, which is down below. And then you'll be entered for your chance to win a $30 gift certificate to the shop. And entries this month are due on May 30th. So we'd love to have you join, and I will link to that below. So once my coloring is done, I'm going to come in and just use my X-Acto knife to cut out one of those waves, just a slit along the top so my little mermaid tail can fit in there. When I am gluing it down to the card, I'm not putting glue right underneath of where I cut that slit, just so I can pop my tail in there. And then, of course, before I glue these all down, I am going to come in with my white jelly roll pen and just add some interest to my little stamped images. I really like this touch, and I think it matches the white heat embossing that we use for the waves, which is really nice. So then I'm going to come in and glue everything down, and you can see I fiddled quite a bit. My sentiment, I ended up cutting out with a sentiment strip, and I'm just making sure my little seashells are kind of nicely complement kind of around the corners of the sentiment, and I really like the uneven numbers as well. I did pop that up on another piece of black cardstock, and then I'm coming in to finish off the card with some sequins. These are the Blue Skies mix, which are so iridescent and super pretty. And there we have the final card. I hope you enjoyed it and it inspires you to join in on our challenge. Again, the link is down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future inspiration from the design team. And I will see you in another video. Bye!